Every word you speak is like a seed you plant into the soil of your life. The soil does not decide whether the seed is good or bad, useful or harmful. It simply nurtures what is placed into it. In the same way, the spiritual law of cause and effect responds to your words without judgment, returning to you the harvest of whatever you have spoken. Many people treat their words as if they are of little consequence, throwing them out carelessly in moments of frustration, fear, or doubt. They do not realize that every utterance carries the power to shape reality. When you say, "I can't," you plant the seed of inability. When you say, "Nothing ever works out for me," you sow seeds of continual disappointment. Just as surely as a farmer who plants thorns will not expect roses, you cannot plant words of defeat and expect a harvest of victory. Your words are not empty. They are containers filled with creative force, carrying either blessings or curses into your future. Think about a garden. If you plant corn, you will reap corn, not wheat. The type of seed determines the type of harvest. The same is true for your life. If you constantly speak words of worry, lack, and sickness, you will see those conditions reinforced and multiplied. But if you speak words of faith, gratitude, and abundance, you set in motion the forces that bring those realities into being. This is not mere positive thinking. It is a spiritual principle that has been active since the beginning of time. The Creator spoke the world into existence, and you, made in His image, have been given that same creative potential through your speech. Every word is a decree, every statement a command to the unseen realm to arrange circumstances according to what you have spoken. There is a reason the scriptures say, "Let the weak say, I am strong." This is not a denial of reality. It is an intentional planting of a better reality. When you speak strength, even when you feel weak, you sow the seed of resilience and vitality. Over time, the fruit of those words will manifest. It is the law of sowing and reaping applied to language. Too many people reinforce their struggles by constantly talking about them. They speak more about their limitations than their possibilities, more about their pain than their healing, more about what they lack than what they already have. They fail to realize that their words are watering the very weeds they wish would disappear. If you want a different harvest, you must change the seeds you are planting. This means becoming aware of the words you speak daily. Self-awareness is the first step toward transformation. Begin to listen to yourself in conversation. What do you declare about your finances, your relationships, your health, your future? Do your words open doors or close them? Do they build bridges or burn them? Once you notice the negative seeds, you can replace them with seeds of life. Instead of saying, "I never have enough money," you can say, "I always have more than enough for my needs and desires." Instead of saying, "I am always sick," you can say, "My body is strong, healthy, and full of life." These may feel strange at first, but they are the first steps toward cultivating a new reality. It is important to remember that seeds do not produce overnight. There is a time of planting, a time of waiting, and then a time of harvest. If you have spent years speaking words of doubt and defeat, you may have a field full of weeds that needs clearing before you see new growth. But persistence is key. Just as a farmer faithfully waters and tends his crops, you must consistently water your new affirmations with belief and gratitude. Over time, you will notice changes in your attitude, your opportunities, and your results. Your outer world will begin to reflect the new seeds you have been planting in your inner world through your words. Words have a multiplying effect. A single positive statement can inspire action, attract help, and open doors that lead to greater blessings. A single negative statement can close off possibilities and drain your energy. The difference between a flourishing life and a struggling one often comes down to the quality of the seeds planted day by day. Your words today are creating the conditions of your tomorrow. You cannot control every circumstance, but you can control the language you use to respond to them. That choice alone gives you immense creative power. When you begin to treat your words like seeds of destiny, you will become more deliberate, more disciplined, and more hopeful. You will speak less about problems and more about solutions. You will complain less and praise more. You will prophesy goodness into your future instead of predicting doom. And as you continue to plant the right seeds, you will look back and realize that the life you are living is the garden you once spoke into existence. It will no longer be a mystery why things have changed. You will know it is the harvest of your own intentional speech. Your mind is like the soil in which the seeds of your words are planted, and your thoughts are the invisible gardeners that nurture or neglect those seeds. Every spoken word begins as a thought, and every thought has the potential to become a spoken reality. If you allow your mind to dwell on doubt, fear, and limitation, those thoughts will inevitably find their way into your speech, and once spoken, they take root in the fabric of your life. The power of affirmative language begins not only with what you say, but with what you believe and think consistently. It is impossible to speak words of abundance while harboring an inner belief in lack. In the same way, it is difficult to affirm strength while your mind clings to thoughts of weakness. That is why the transformation of your language must begin with the renewal of your thoughts. Consider how quickly a single negative thought can multiply. You might begin by thinking, "I am not good enough," and soon you are speaking words that reflect that belief. "I'll never succeed," or "I'm not as capable as others." These spoken words do not merely express the thought, they solidify it, turning it into a declaration that shapes your reality. Conversely, when you replace the root thought with one of empowerment, the words that follow will be filled with life, giving energy. "I have unique talents and strengths," or "I am capable of achieving my goals." Over time, these positive affirmations will take root and begin to produce results in your life. This is not wishful thinking, but a deliberate choice to plant seeds that will produce a desired harvest. Your inner dialogue, the constant stream of thoughts that flows through your mind, is often more influential than the words you speak out loud. Even if you do not say them to others, the words you repeat to yourself shape your emotions, your decisions, and your actions. If that inner dialogue is filled with criticism and self-doubt, you will naturally behave in ways that confirm those beliefs. But if your inner dialogue is filled with encouragement, hope, and confidence, you will act with courage and take steps toward your desired reality. This is why it is vital to monitor not only the language you use in conversation, but also the language you use in your mind. Affirmative language has the ability to shift your focus. When you speak affirmations such as, "Opportunities are coming my way," or "I am attracting the right people and resources," your mind begins to look for evidence to support those statements. You start to notice possibilities you might have overlooked before. Your actions begin to align with your declarations, and you position yourself to receive the very things you have affirmed. In contrast, negative statements do the opposite. They blind you to opportunities and reinforce limitations. If you constantly say, "I can't find any good opportunities," your mind will filter out anything that contradicts that belief. You will unknowingly turn away from doors that could have opened for you. To truly harness the power of affirmative language, you must speak your affirmations with conviction. A half-hearted statement lacks the energy to create change. Words must be infused with belief, even if that belief is small at first. Just as a seed contains the blueprint for a tree, your affirmations carry the blueprint for the reality you desire. Even if you do not see results immediately, the unseen work is taking place. You are reprogramming your mind, shifting your focus, and sending out vibrations that align with your affirmations. It is also important to speak as though the desired reality is already true. Instead of saying, "I will be successful someday," say, "I am successful now." This creates an immediate sense of ownership and signals to your mind and spirit that the reality you desire is already within reach. Your actions will then begin to reflect this belief, leading you toward the fulfillment of your words. The language of the present moment carries far more creative power than language of the future, because it roots your mind in the reality you wish to live. When you align your thoughts and your words, you create harmony between your inner world and your outer world. Your thoughts supply the foundation. Your words give shape to that foundation, and your actions bring it into physical form. Speaking affirmatively without changing your thoughts will feel hollow, and thinking positively without speaking it will limit your results. But when thought and word work together, they form an unstoppable creative force. You become the conscious architect of your life, designing it one declaration at a time. Over time, as you nurture these seeds of thought and speech with faith and persistence, you will witness your reality shifting to match the affirmations you have planted deep within your mind and spoken boldly into the world. When you speak affirmations, you are not simply uttering pleasant phrases. You are sending out a vibration that begins to attract the very conditions you are describing. The universe responds to the energy behind your words, and that energy is shaped by your faith, your expectation, and your consistency. Just as a musician tunes an instrument to achieve harmony, you tune your life through the alignment of your language with your desires. The more consistent and confident your affirmations, the more they become like a steady signal sent out into the atmosphere, calling back to you the matching experiences, opportunities, and relationships. This is why it is not enough to affirm something once or twice. You must continually speak it until it becomes the natural rhythm of your mind and the natural expression of your spirit. The power of affirmative language also lies in its ability to transform how you perceive challenges. Life will inevitably present difficulties, but your response to those difficulties determines whether they become stepping stones or stumbling blocks. If your speech is filled with defeat, phrases like, "This is too hard," or "I can't handle this," you will feel powerless in the face of adversity. However, if you train yourself to respond with affirmations such as, "I am capable of overcoming this," or "Every challenge is an opportunity for growth," you will tap into an inner strength that transforms the way you experience hardship. Affirmative language doesn't magically remove obstacles, but it changes your perspective so you can see solutions instead of barriers. When you speak with certainty about your desired reality, you begin to live in alignment with that reality before it manifests. This alignment is a crucial part of the creative process. It's like a gardener preparing the soil before planting seeds. Your affirmations prepare your inner environment for the harvest you expect. Speaking words like, "I am healthy, vibrant, and full of energy," will naturally lead you to make choices that support health and vitality. Affirmations don't just affect your thoughts. They influence your behavior in ways that make your spoken reality more likely to become tangible. This is why people who affirm success often develop habits that lead to success. They are unconsciously aligning their actions with the truth they keep declaring. Another important aspect of this process is speaking from a place of gratitude, even for things that have not yet appeared in your life. Gratitude is one of the most powerful amplifiers of affirmative language. When you say, "I am grateful for the abundance in my life," even before you see that abundance, you are signaling trust in the unseen and faith in the process. This trust accelerates the manifestation of your words because it removes the vibration of doubt. Doubt and fear weaken the creative force of your language, while gratitude strengthens and magnifies it. A thankful heart speaks with a tone of assurance, and that assurance sends a stronger message into the world. Affirmations also work best when they are specific and vivid. A vague statement like, "I want a better life," lacks the clarity and focus needed to direct your energy effectively. Instead say, "I am living a life filled with joy, financial freedom, meaningful relationships, and daily purpose." The more detailed your affirmation, the more vividly your mind can picture it, and the more emotionally connected you will feel to it. This emotional connection fuels the energy of your words, making them far more potent than generic statements. Your subconscious mind responds powerfully to images and emotions, so paint a clear mental picture with your language. The repetition of affirmative language is not about mindless chanting, it's about consciously imprinting your mind with a truth you choose to believe. At first, your affirmations might feel unnatural or even unbelievable, especially if they contradict your current reality. But with repetition, they begin to replace old, limiting beliefs. Over time, the new belief becomes so ingrained that it feels natural, and your outer world starts to reflect it. This is why persistence is essential. Affirmations are like drops of water wearing away a stone. One drop won't change the shape of the stone, but consistent drops over time will create a visible transformation. Finally, your spoken words not only shape your own reality, but also influence the people and environments around you. When you speak affirmatively, you inspire confidence in others, lift the energy of a room, and attract people who share your vision. Negative speech, on the other hand, repels opportunities and discourages those who might have helped you. Your language has the power to create an atmosphere that supports growth and success, both for you and for those you encounter. Speaking your reality into existence is not merely about personal gain. It is about becoming a source of light, encouragement, and possibility for others, creating ripples of change that extend far beyond your own life. Your words are seeds, and just like seeds planted in the soil, they have the potential to grow into something far greater than their original form. Every time you speak, you plant an idea into the fertile ground of your subconscious mind, and the type of seed you plant determines the harvest you will reap. Positive, faith-filled words produce a harvest of blessings, while negative, fearful words grow into limitations and disappointments. This is why it is essential to speak only what you want to see flourish in your life. If a farmer desires apples, he plants apple seeds. In the same way, if you desire joy, abundance, health, or peace, you must plant the seeds of those realities through your language. Speaking in alignment with your highest vision ensures that your mental garden grows with intention instead of by accident. Your subconscious mind does not filter your words for truth or falsehood. It simply accepts whatever you consistently speak as reality. If you repeatedly say, "I am unlucky," or "I am not good enough," your subconscious will find ways to confirm those statements in your experiences. On the other hand, if you declare, "I am favored," or "I am fully capable," your subconscious will align your thoughts, decisions, and actions with those affirmations. Over time, your outer life becomes a mirror of the inner truths you have chosen to speak. The words you release are not empty sounds. They are commands to the creative power within you, directing it to build the life you describe. One of the most powerful aspects of speaking your reality into existence is that it draws your focus toward opportunities that match your declarations. When you say, "I am living a life of abundance," your awareness begins to tune into ideas, people, and resources that support abundance. These opportunities were often there all along, but without the right focus, you might have overlooked them. Your affirmations act like a magnet, pulling matching circumstances into your life and guiding you toward decisions that make your vision real. It is not magic. It is the natural law of attention and attraction. Where your words go, your energy follows, and where your energy flows, results begin to appear. It is also important to understand that speaking your reality does not mean ignoring the present facts. It means choosing to declare the truth you want to see rather than repeating the conditions you want to change. If you are facing illness, you do not need to dwell on sickness in your speech. You can affirm health, strength, and recovery. If you are in debt, you can still declare prosperity and financial wisdom. Your words are not a denial of reality. They are a declaration of faith that reality can change. Many people stay trapped in undesirable situations because they continually rehearse their problems instead of proclaiming their desired outcome. When you speak life over a situation, you open the door for change to enter. Consistency in your speech is key. Just as a plant needs regular watering to grow, your affirmations need repeated expression to take root and bear fruit. Sporadic or half-hearted affirmations lack the power to create lasting change because they are easily drowned out by opposing thoughts and words. Speaking your reality into existence must become a habit, a daily practice woven into your conversations, your prayers, and your inner dialogue. Over time, the repetition will shift your mindset so completely that your new reality begins to feel inevitable. Your words also shape your emotional state, which in turn affects your ability to create. Positive, affirming language lifts your mood, increases your confidence, and strengthens your resilience. When you speak in a way that inspires hope, your body responds with energy and vitality, and your mind opens to new possibilities. Negative words, however, drain your energy, cloud your judgment, and make it harder to see solutions. By consciously choosing words that inspire and uplift, you not only shape your future, but also empower yourself to take the actions necessary to bring it about. Finally, speaking your reality into existence is a declaration of personal authority over your life. It is an act of taking responsibility for the energy you release into the world and for the vision you hold for your future. You are not a passive observer of life's events. You are a co-creator, actively shaping your experiences with every word you speak. This awareness should fill you with both humility and determination. Humility, because you recognize the great gift and responsibility of creative speech. Determination, because you refuse to let careless words sabotage your destiny. When you truly grasp the power of your language, you will speak with intention, plant only the seeds you want to grow, and watch with gratitude as your words become the reality you have always desired. When you choose to speak your reality into existence, you must understand that your words carry a vibration that either harmonizes with your desires or works against them. Every spoken word releases an energy that resonates with the unseen forces of life, calling to you experiences that match its frequency. If your words are filled with faith, hope, and expectancy, they send out a signal that attracts similar conditions back to you. But if your words are laced with fear, doubt, and complaint, they call in circumstances that confirm those lower vibrations. It is not about pretending problems do not exist. It is about refusing to give them more power through constant verbal reinforcement. By aligning the vibration of your speech with the outcome you desire, you create a powerful current that carries you toward it, regardless of the obstacles in your way. The world around you is a mirror, reflecting the beliefs and assumptions you carry within yourself. Speaking in a way that matches your vision is like instructing the mirror to display a different image. If you look in a mirror and dislike what you see, you don't smash the glass. You change yourself so the reflection changes. Your words are the first step in changing the inner image, and once the inner shifts, the outer must follow. This is why it is crucial to speak not of what is wrong, but of what is becoming right. You might feel tempted to vent frustrations, to replay negative stories, or to criticize your situation. But each time you do, you are reinforcing the image you wish to escape. Instead, speak about your life as if it already reflects the blessings, opportunities, and peace you desire. Speaking your reality into existence also strengthens your inner conviction, which is a necessary force for creation. When you continually affirm what you want to see, you begin to believe it more deeply. Belief is not just a feeling. It is the soil in which your vision grows. Without belief, even the most beautiful affirmations will wither before they can take root. But as you speak your desired reality with certainty, belief becomes stronger, and strong belief invites decisive action. Suddenly, you find yourself making choices that align with your words, taking steps that once seemed out of reach. The inner agreement between your speech and your actions creates a synergy that accelerates manifestation. It is equally important to be mindful of the conversations you engage in with others. Words exchanged in dialogue can either support or sabotage your vision. If you speak your goals and dreams to someone who responds with negativity or disbelief, you must be careful not to adopt their energy. Protect your spoken vision by surrounding it with people who encourage and affirm it, and by avoiding environments where your speech is met with cynicism or mockery. Your vision is precious, and your words are the vessel that carries it forward. Do not let that vessel be cracked by careless conversation. In moments when challenges arise, speaking your reality becomes even more vital. The natural tendency during hardship is to give voice to fear, frustration, or hopelessness. But these are the times when your words have the greatest potential to shape your path forward. By choosing to speak faith and possibility in the midst of difficulty, you declare that the challenge is not the final word in your story. You become the author, not the victim, of your narrative. This conscious choice to speak powerfully in the face of adversity shifts your perspective, strengthens your resilience, and opens the way for solutions that might otherwise have remained hidden. Your words also serve as instructions to your future self. Every time you speak a declaration, you are sending a message to the person you are becoming. If your language is filled with strength, gratitude, and confidence, your future self will be equipped with those qualities. If your language is filled with defeat and complaint, your future self will inherit those burdens. Think of your words as a bridge between who you are now and who you want to become. Each affirmation is like a plank laid down on that bridge, making it possible for you to cross into your desired reality. Without the right words, the bridge remains incomplete and your vision stays out of reach. Ultimately, speaking your reality into existence is about creating alignment. Alignment between your inner vision, your spoken words, your emotional state, and your actions. When these elements work together, they create unstoppable momentum. Words are the spark that ignites the process, but they also serve as the continuous fuel that keeps the fire of creation burning. You must guard them carefully, use them intentionally, and release them with the certainty that they will return to you fulfilled. Over time, this practice becomes second nature, and you find that your outer world consistently begins to reflect the beauty, abundance, and joy you have been declaring. In this way, your words not only shape your reality, they become the foundation upon which your best life is built. When you begin to truly believe in the power of your words, you recognize that speaking your reality into existence is not simply about wishful thinking or empty phrases. It is a spiritual law at work. Every time you speak, you are planting a seed in the fertile soil of the universe. The kind of seed you plant determines the kind of harvest you will reap. If you sow words of abundance, peace, health, and joy, those very things begin to find their way to you. But if you sow words of fear, lack, or limitation, you will inevitably see those conditions manifest. This understanding should make you deeply aware of how important it is to choose your words wisely. Just as a gardener would not plant weeds alongside flowers, you must not plant words that contradict the life you wish to create. Your words have a way of impressing themselves upon your subconscious mind, and once they are there, they begin to influence your habits, decisions, and perceptions. The subconscious is like a loyal servant. It does not argue or question. It simply carries out the instructions it is given. When you consistently affirm that you are blessed, capable, and walking towards success, your subconscious goes to work aligning your inner resources with those truths. Conversely, when you repeat phrases like, "I can't," "I'm unlucky," or "nothing ever works out for me," your subconscious accepts those as commands and shapes your life to match them. This is why even casual statements, said without much thought, can be dangerous if they contradict your desires. One of the greatest challenges in speaking your reality into existence is resisting the temptation to speak only about what you see in the present. It is easy to describe what is happening right now, especially if it's unpleasant. But the truth is, your words should be shaping your future, not reinforcing your present circumstances. If you want change, you must speak in the language of possibility, not the language of limitation. This means declaring health while you are still recovering, speaking abundance while you are still working through financial struggles, and affirming peace while chaos surrounds you. Speaking this way does not mean you are in denial. It means you are choosing to place your faith in the unseen, knowing that the unseen is where creation begins. In this process, gratitude becomes a powerful companion to affirmation. When you combine the energy of thankfulness with the power of your spoken word, you amplify its impact, saying, "I am grateful for the opportunities flowing into my life," or "I thank God for the abundance that surrounds me," carries a different weight than simply wishing for better days. Gratitude speaks as if the blessing has already arrived, and that energy draws it closer to you. It shifts your focus from what is missing to what is possible, creating an atmosphere in which your affirmations can thrive. Another vital aspect of this practice is persistence. You cannot expect 1 or 2 affirmations to undo years of negative speech or thinking. Just as you would water a plant daily to help it grow, you must water your vision with consistent, positive faith-filled words. There will be days when it feels pointless, when your circumstances seem unchanged, and your affirmations sound hollow. But those are the moments when persistence matters most, because every word you speak is building momentum. Eventually, your persistence will tip the scale, and what was once invisible will begin to take form in your reality. You must also guard against the influence of others whose speech contradicts your vision. The words spoken around you can subtly affect your own thinking if you are not careful. This doesn't mean you have to cut people off, but it does mean you must be selective about whose voices you allow to shape your beliefs. When someone speaks doubt over your dream, you can silently counter it with your own affirmations, refusing to let their words take root in your mind. Surround yourself with people who speak life, who affirm your potential, and who share your commitment to creating a reality filled with hope and possibility. Finally, it is essential to trust the process. Speaking your reality into existence is not about controlling every detail of how it will unfold. It is about aligning yourself with the right frequency so that life can bring you what you are calling for. Sometimes the path to your desire will be different than you expected, but if your words remain steadfast and aligned with your vision, you can trust that the outcome will be for your highest good. Your role is to speak with conviction, and to believe without wavering, and to act in harmony with the reality you are declaring. Over time, you will see the undeniable truth. The life you live tomorrow is shaped by the words you speak today. Living as if your desired reality is already here is one of the most powerful ways to bring it into being. This principle goes beyond mere positive thinking. It is about embodying the version of yourself who has already received what you are affirming. When you act, speak, and think in alignment with the reality you want, you signal to your subconscious mind and to the universe that you are ready to receive it. This readiness changes the way you carry yourself, the decisions you make, and even the energy you project into every interaction. For example, if you are affirming financial abundance, you might carry yourself with confidence rather than desperation, make decisions from a place of wisdom rather than fear, and treat opportunities as if you are already worthy of them, because you are. This way of living also strengthens your faith. Faith is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, and it often requires you to behave as though your dream has already been fulfilled. This is not pretending, it is preparing. If you speak words of health, but continue to see yourself as sick and limited, you are creating a conflict between your words and your actions. But if you speak health and begin to act in ways that align with that affirmation, caring for your body, making healthier choices, seeing yourself as strong, you create harmony between your spoken word and your lived reality, and that harmony accelerates manifestation. The practice of living as if also dissolves doubt. Doubt thrives in the gap between your desire and your current circumstances. But when you close that gap by adopting the mindset, habits, and emotional state of your desired reality, doubt has nowhere to settle. You no longer question whether it will happen. Instead, you move through each day with the quiet certainty that it is already in motion. This certainty not only keeps you consistent in your affirmations, but also keeps your energy magnetic to the outcomes you seek. Another powerful aspect of this principle is that it often inspires aligned action. When you feel as though your dream is already here, you naturally take steps that support it. Opportunities become more visible, and your decisions become more strategic. You are not waiting for life to change before you start moving. You are moving now, and life is rising to meet you. This is why many people who practice this principle find that doors begin to open unexpectedly. Connections appear at just the right moment, and solutions seem to arrive out of nowhere. These are not coincidences. They are the natural consequences of living in alignment with your spoken reality. It is important to note that living as if does not mean ignoring challenges or pretending problems do not exist. It means choosing to focus your energy and attention on the version of life you are creating rather than the one you are leaving behind. Even in the midst of difficulty, you can maintain your vision and respond to challenges from the perspective of someone who knows the outcome is already secured. This mindset changes how you handle setbacks, because you no longer see them as signs of failure, but as temporary detours on the path to fulfillment. Consistency is key here. Just as your words must be spoken daily with conviction, your actions and attitude must reflect your desired reality on a consistent basis. This may require discipline, especially when the visible results are still forming, but persistence is what keeps your vision alive until it fully materializes. Over time, this way of living becomes second nature. You no longer have to remind yourself to think or act like the person you want to be. You simply become that person, and your external reality follows. Ultimately, the principle of living as if is about alignment. Your words, thoughts, emotions, and actions must all agree with the reality you are speaking into existence. When every part of you is moving in the same direction, creation becomes inevitable. The universe, God, or whatever divine force you believe in responds to that alignment with opportunities, blessings, and manifestations that match your inner state. When you live this way, you realize that you are not waiting for your dream. You are already walking in it, and the physical evidence will simply catch up to the truth you have been embodying all along.